as you've never seen it.
Go with.
There we go.
I'll let you interview Andy.
Okay, James, thank you very much indeed. Andrew Marr is just being rigged up live on air. This is all obviously evolving before our eyes, perhaps not the side of interviewing that you normally see, but anyway, Andrew Marr is being just fitted up with James Landale's earpiece and a microphone, having just spoken to the Prime Minister in Downing Street. We've just heard that the Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, has confirmed to the BBC what we've been reporting, that the speculation was that he would not be calling an autumn general election.
Yes, forgive me, I'm just glancing over Tim's shoulder there, seeing how we're doing, just seeing if we've got communication with Andrew yet. I don't think he's hearing anything yet, but let me just say, just to sum up, we now have it confirmed, because Andrew has just literally walked out of number 10 Downing Street, that the Prime Minister will not call an election this year or next. I think we can now speak to you, Andrew. Tell us what's been said inside the hallowed walls of 10 Downing Street.
Well, I think the first thing to say is to be absolutely clear there is not going to be an election this year, and unless there's an extraordinary circumstance, he was pretty clear that there will not be an election next year either. You can't have a mandate election halfway through a parliament, can you? So that's the most important thing. I think the second thing to say is that the Prime Minister does not deny that he was thinking quite seriously about an election 2 weeks ago, but he says this is nothing to do with the polls. The polls, of course, have changed against him dramatically after that extraordinarily successful for them Conservative Party conference, but he says the point is that he feels that he has to demonstrate how he's going to run the country over a longer term than simply the crisis-ridden years of the summer.
What was his mood like, Andrew?
He seemed remarkably calm. I wouldn't say sunny. He's rarely sunny in that way, but he was particularly calm. I asked him a fair number of very direct questions, and he answered politely, if from time to time repetitiously, as he tends to do.
So it was almost, with you, a trial run for what he's going to face in the House next week, and he is not going to be given an easy ride by his Conservative and Liberal Democrat peers.
Well, he knows that the single word, the phrase that's going to be used most often is bottled it. That's what George Osborne, the Shadow Chancellor, said. I'm quite sure that's what David Cameron and Mr Osborne will be repeating after this, and a lot of people are going to be saying that again and again and again. He knows that. He knows he's going to take some kind of hit, but he's decided that he is not, under any circumstances, going to chance his arm this autumn.
Did you push him on the visit to Iraq, and does he, in hindsight, think that that was a mistake?
He says that he had to go to Iraq to talk to the troops and to see for himself before he got to back to make the statement in the House of Commons, and that was perfectly normal.
And in terms of the numbers and the pre-announcement of the numbers returning?
Again, he says we're going to hear more from him on that subject tomorrow. Wait and see, but he always said he was going to make a proper parliamentary statement, and so he will.
It was interesting speaking to Diane Abbott, Labour MP, a short while ago. She was very much portraying it as something that had almost happened around Gordon Brown, that the cock-up was not his, it was because too many people were briefing, and he, in a way, perhaps didn't have control of it, but was not in any way pushing what was being said out to the media. How did he portray himself, as the victim or the perpetrator of this, what might be called cock-up?
Well, he portrayed himself as somebody who was looking at information. People were coming to him and saying, you know, you could do this or you could do that, and he had a duty as Prime Minister, party leader, to look at this information and eventually to make his mind up. But these were proposals coming to him. This was not something originated by him. Now, of course, with any Prime Minister, you've got a very tight little group of people around you, and where the Prime Minister's thinking stops and starts and where their thinking stops and starts is always a remarkably hazy, foggy, gooey sort of area. But he said he was just listening to advice.
Just to push you on the timing of the next election, I mean, so he said not imminent, Andrew. Did he rule it out for, what, 6 months, or did he give any time frame at all?
Well, I asked him about 2008, and I mean, you'll see the exchange of questions and answers tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, in some detail. He wanted to leave himself some wriggle room, but I put to him that you can't rule it out now and then, on the basis of a few good polls at some point next year, decide to ramp it up again, because of course these things affect the real world. They affect real people's jobs, the real economy, sentiment, all sorts of things in the city. So it's an important matter. I think he fully accepted that, and I would say, in effect, unless something extraordinary happens, ruling out a general election either this year or in 2008.
And just briefly, I mean, what damage did he think the speculation of the last few weeks had done not only to him personally, but also to the government?
Well, I mean, you say to a Prime Minister, you know, you've taken a big whack, haven't you? You're in trouble. I mean, they don't tend to say, yes, you're absolutely right. Goodness me. But I'm sure behind the scenes he knows perfectly well it's been a tough, difficult and indeed damaging week or two.
OK, Andrew Marr, thank you very much. Andrew Marr's programme tomorrow, 9 o'clock on BBC One. Also, I think on BBC News. No, not on BBC News 24. I think we can just bring people now part of that interview from which was given to Andrew Marr by the Prime Minister, Gordon Brown.
I'll not be calling an election, and let me explain why. I have a vision for change in Britain, and I want to show people how in government we're implementing it. And over the summer months, we've had to deal with crises. We've had to deal with foot and mouth, we've had terrorism, we've had floods, we have financial crises. And yes, we could have had an election on competence, and I hope people would have understood that we have acted competently. But what I want to do is to show people the vision we have for the future of this country in housing and health and education. And I want the chance in the next phase of my premiership to develop and show people the policies that are going to make a huge difference and show the change in the country itself.